Good morning, Rabbi Isai. Nishmas Rabbi Isai. A few more people donated Gemaras. We have Moshe Harari, Jonathan Rebesker, Jonathan Abu. Don't forget, Moshe Zaret jumped in yesterday and donated how much? $750 or $650? $750. Shira Weissman, anonymous. I love the way he spelled this. Ananumase. Anonymous. That made 10 Gemaras. Akiva Boaz, Joel Samet, Michael Yehuda, R Snapper, Jacob Kritzler, Benjamin Roosevelt. The kids are a boy side in the last maybe 48 hours. Over 500 Gemaras donated. That's 500 people coming to Torah, changing their lives. Shalom Aleichem, our guest. Oh, you're middle of davening. Okay, I'll catch you later. You can talk?
Yeah.
What's your name? Shalom Aleichem.
Zechus
Golding. You are in charge of the Siyum HaShas.
Last 5 times.
The last 5 Siyum HaShas?
Since 1990. I was the...
Woman.
1990, 97, 2005, 2012, 2020.
Wow. Can you?
Correct. I had the discuss of working for Rabbi Shara for 18 years.
Wow. Are you going to help us out with our cruise? We want to make a cruise all the way to New York. Oh, we're talking about this cruise. We have a cholim. It started as a joke, but people took it seriously. They said, whoever finishes shots with us, we're going to go on a cruise. So people are writing in all the time, I'm with you since brachas. It comes out, we only have like 25,000 people that are with us today, but over 50,000 people are with us since brachas. We don't know how that happened. They just made a big cruise that could hold like 8,000, 9,000 something. We're trying to book it. All right, you should have a lot of atzlacha. Be'ez Hashem. This is a bit personal. But if it can give one person that push when it's worth then it's worth sharing it. For those who think that the daf doesn't change their lives, first I will say you need to be honest with yourself, especially when it's hard. Ask yourself if you're taking what you have learned and applying it to your daily life. Rabbi says you have to apply it to your daily life, he says. The daf has changed my life in so many ways, and I'm sure it will continue to change as I continue to learn and incorporate what I learned into my daily life. My mother and I don't have a great relationship, and we really talk due to our history. I never thought I'd be able to forgive her, but Torah has helped me to overcome the issues that I was finally able to. It's incredibly hard, but withholding forgiveness weighs you down just as much in the end. As a bonus, because of the daf, I was able to find out more about my yichos. While we were talking, my mother told me what shevet we were from, and now I know who my forefathers are. This means a lot to me, and something I pass down to my children. Be strong and push forward. Push yourself. Be strong and push yourself, especially when it's hard. In other words, he's saying, get out of your comfort zone. That's how you make a difference in the world best. Michael Ben Chanasara, Marion, Kentucky. This is our chaver from Kentucky. Now look what he wrote to his mother. My studies have taught me a lot. One thing in particular I've struggled with, but Torah has helped me to overcome. Torah taught me that it's cruel to withhold forgiveness. It's not an easy thing, and that's why it means so much. It's not something I need to do for myself anymore, but if your nefesh is weighed down by our past, I want you to know that I do forgive you for everything. If you felt it was needed or not, I love you. Don't want to be all mushy, but wanted to say. And his mother writes back to him, thank you, sweetie. I love you so much. I'm proud of you. You're an amazing man. I know I was imperfect, so thank you again. In other words, she's made that she did something wrong here, and she's makabel his, and they made a little, a little shalom goes a long way. Rabbi said, dear Rav Eli, Mazal Tov on your new granddaughter. I very much appreciate how you go beyond the comfort in preparing the share when you're on the go. Please, can you try to keep the time to 50 minutes max? How it used to be. The photo is attached is after a trying day listening at 1.25 speed. It's not about the daf, it's the yomi. You're telling from Ksubis Daf Beis, correction, Ksibis Daf Beis. Shalom Berkovich, have a wonderful and meaningful day. Shalom Berkovich from England. Rabbi Isai, the Masechta sponsored for the unity of Am Yisrael. Parnas HaChodesh, Lili Nishmas Zechariah ben Moshe, Lili Nishmas Chayil bas Yosef. I got an email from a Stefansky relative. He says, yesterday you read it wrong. You read it Moshe ben Zechariah and Yosef ben Pascha, something like that. It's probably right. Ahron Fraiman should be zechus to Rav Eli if you continue to siyadta dishmaya and teaching Torah to Klal Yisroel. Rabbi Ahron Fraiman, thank you for donating at least 100 Gemaras. How much is it? Yeah. Oh, you want to? Should we pull him in on Zoom? Let's see if we can pull in our friend from Kentucky on Zoom. Where is he? Oh, Shalom Aleichem. How you doing? Are you the only Jew in Kentucky, marrying Kentucky? Or the only Jew that does the daf?
Yes, more than likely. I actually look for local people, and yes, nothing makes us world nearby.
Wow. Okay, so keep it up. One day we'll meet. Maybe you'll come to Eretz Yisrael. You'll come to the Beis Medrash.
I'd love to.
All right, and thanks for incorporating the daf into your daily life and coming out of your comfort zone. It's a big lesson to learn for everybody. And listen, I believe in that. If you could be mechazik one person, be a balgaiva. It's okay. Go out of your comfort zone. Write an email. Tell us about it. All right. The parents of the Kaddish, Mazal Tov Ahron, Rav Eli, and the entire mishpacha on the birth of Sophia Ruth. Parents Hayoim, Ahron and Naomi Mandelbaum. Parents. Oh, Rabbi Isai, our dear friend Avi Mandelbaum. We all remember him. He was the first one on Zoom and the last one off. He was the Baltakeya. And we went through, when we found out that he has the machla, and we davened, and we learned all of Shas, maybe more, 5,000 daf actually, 5,000 daf. And now it's his yard side, I think. Ahron and Naomi Mandelbaum, something. It's like, it's 12 months, but it's not, okay. Yossi and Carolyn Mandelbaum, brother, and Esti and Yossi Ziffer, sister. And last but hardly least, Michal Mandelbaum Avi's aishes chayil. The end of Kaddish for Avraham Menashe ben Aharon Moshe. Joshua Herschberg, the Neshama should have an aliyah. He's very, very, yes. Somebody just sent me an email yesterday. I should have put it up here. Pictures of Avi with the backgrounds, his famous backgrounds. Avi visited me in Chicago with his whole family. I went to visit him. Our first shir outside of MDY. Gary and I drove. We were already up north. Moresha, that's it. And we went in his house when he was still well. We didn't know it. It was on his birthday. And he loved soup. Joshua Herschberg, Lili Nishmas, Avi Mori, Dov Ben Chaim on the occasion of his 29th yahrzeit. Parnas Hayoim, in honor of Breindy Gugenheim's 25th birthday, a huge MDY supporter, Mazal Tov, and the art of the month, and honors for the zechus for an easy childbirth, his daughter, and a healthy baby. Boys, we have a few guests here. I want to say Shalom Aleichem. What's your name? Alan Steinmetz from Muncie? Five Towns. Shalom Aleichem. I was just guessing because I know some Steinmetzes over there. And when we saw each other, we bumped into each other. Well, you had the same glasses? I would have remembered. Those are very unique. Those are very cool. And what's your name, Tzadik? From Dallas. Worldwide. Where are you from? I didn't ask. Don't tell me Brooklyn.
Grew up on the west side of Manhattan, but I've been living in Muncie for the last 25 years.
Ooh, the Muncie, the real Muncie, not the fake.
For shade.
That's
the real Muncie.
Wow. Okay, Givaldik. Okay. Rabbi Isai, we're holding Daf Kuvdalet Amud Beis towards the bottom. So we're talking about if a person steals and he dies, what does the son have to pay? Does the son ever have to pay a chaymesh? The person steals, he himself gives back. If he swears falsely that he didn't steal and then he admits that he stole, he has to pay 25% extra plus a carbon. What about the son? So we said if the father admits, then the son has to pay his father's keren and chaymesh. But if the son admits, then he only pays the principal, he doesn't pay the chaymesh. This is what we left off yesterday. If the son admits that his father stole, so then the son has to pay the principal, but he doesn't pay the 25%. Ask the Gemara, why not? 5 lines from the bottom. The son should pay the chaymesh, the fifth, or the 25%, ashvua didei, since he swears falsely about his father's theft. He's trying to save himself money. That's actually a shvua to pater him from an obligation. So for that he should pay the 25% of chaymesh. Amri, b'shein zeh l'kayemes. The father's theft is not in the world, and therefore the son is not chayiv to pay it back. If he's not chayiv to pay it back, then it's not a shvua to pater him from anything. So the Gemara says the obvious question: so then why does he have to pay the principal then? It's not around. You just told me if it's not around, he doesn't have to pay it. So then what's the point? So the Gemara says you're right. At the end of the day, it doesn't have to pay it, but there's real estate, and to honor the father, kavod av, just because he's dead and we don't want him to look bad, then we should have the son pay for his father the principal and only the principal. Now we're going to do something like this. Take out your pencil and put this in brackets. Rashi says this is in brackets from v'chi ika. So we're not going to say this. We could just say it just to be yitzazayid. V'chi ika achrayis l'chasam yehav emil v'apei umil v'apei negavi l'min erj v'limin l'kuchois amri b'shom v'din. And that's where the bracket ends. Then we have one word e, and we stick in another word hachi. It's e hachi. And b'shom v'din we put again in brackets. Okay. So hachi afilu chaymish nami mishalem. If the son is trying to absolve himself from paying the father's covered, he's trying to get out of a monetary obligation, and he swore falsely on that, so that should be mechayim a chaymish. Omer avhuna bereder of Yeshua lefishay mishalem top of kufay Amud Aleph lefishay mishalem chaymish al kvir shibik karkais. Because this is coming out of the real estate, he's trying to get out of paying some of the shibud, the obligation, the lien that the real estate has, and memela, you don't pay a fifth on karka. Rav Omar, Rav has an upshat. We're talking about, we just said that the Genev is not here, it's gone, but there's real estate that backs it up, there's a lien on the real estate. Says the Rav, no. It's a different story. The story is that the Genev is here in the world. So let me ask you a question. Think about this for a second. Yaakov Avinu, he swore that if anybody has the getchka, whoever has it will die. Oh, I just noticed you. You're a guest, right? Shalom Aleichem. Ish, what's your name?
Yaakov Staller.
Staller from?
People are in home, but my mom is here, so.
In the Beis Medrash?
Not in the Beis Medrash.
Okay. Whew. You can't do this to me. I'm already feeling really bad about not recognizing faces and all that. Okay, Shalom Aleichem.
My son played at the Stephen Kivar home.
Oh, really? Oh, very nice. Send them regards. Okay, shkoyach. Here's the question. We know that Rachel was nifter. Why? Because Yaakov Avinu said whoever has, Yaakov Avinu didn't know. So let me ask you a question. If somebody swears, somebody says, I don't have any money in my house. Zero. I don't have it. And it turns out that he hid money in his house once he completely forgot about it. You open up the drawer, there's $10,000 sitting in the drawer that he forgot about. But he swears he has no money. At the time that he swore, he thought he didn't have money. Later on, he said, well, his wife tells him, what do you put it away for a rainy day? Oh, yeah. Is that shvua sheker or not? Well, Yaakov Avinu said, didn't know either. And Rachel died. Shvua sheker or not shvua sheker? No, it's not shvua sheker. Right. Says the Gemara, what happened over here is that the father had one of these bags full of stolen goods, and he kept it by his friend. So says the son swears, my father doesn't have anything. My father died without any geneva. Now the son doesn't know that the father put it by somebody else. So that's called a shvuas emes. It's not sheker. But the geneva is here in this world. So if the geneva is here in the world, he has to give it back. So says the Gemara, this bag, this saddle bag, so he has to pay the principal, but he doesn't have to pay the fifth, the 25%. That's considered a shvuas emes. The lehavi yoda, because he didn't know. So it comes out like this, that if a son does know, and there is a geneva that's be'ain, it's here, and the son swears falsely on that, comes out that you have to pay the chaymish. The son does have to pay a chaymish if he swears falsely on his father's geneva, if it's here and he knows about it. There's a ma'is I said over probably a few years ago, and then someone's going to say, no, you said it 3 weeks ago. But in my mind, it's a few years ago. But I think it's a ma'is that brings out a few very important points. There's a kid that was playing in his father's house. I said a similar story about the monkey, but this is very different. This is a true story. It happened in Yerushalayim. This kid was playing in the house, and he came across a hidden coin that his father put away, a golden coin. A very, very valuable coin. His father saved up a lot of money, bought a coin. So the kid took the coin and he went to the store and bought a candy. Father comes home, he sees his son with a candy. He says, what happened? Where did you get a candy from? It's Yerushalayim, back in the day. Where do you have a candy? He says, I found a coin at home. He says, what did it look like? He says, like this. It had a picture of that. He says, the golden coin? He says, yeah. The father runs to the store. Goes to the owner, says, my son was here, bought a candy, yes. Could I have my golden coin back? And candy cost a shekel. You took 100,000 shekel from the kid. He says, no, he gave me a shekel. Shekel, what do you mean? Kids are back and forth. He brings him to Bezdin. So Bezdin says you have to make a shvuah. They could do that. Make a shvuah. You're so sure it's a shekel, and he says this golden coin. The kid says, so swear. So the owner of the store says, I'm not going to swear. Even though I know I'm right, I'm not swearing. I'm not. Shvuah is it's a davar chomer, and this is what we need to see in the sugya. People don't like to swear, even if it's 100% true. So he says, I want to go on a payment plan. I can't afford it. It's a golden coin, $100,000, whatever it is, I'm going to pay. Starts paying. Now, this is in Yerushalayim. You don't mess around with the Yerushalmis. They got a hold of the story. They heard what happened. And they figured the owner of this makolet is a bad guy. Why? He's lying. Obviously, he didn't swear. He took advantage of the kid. They put up tzetlach everywhere. Let's make a machal. We're not going to purchase anything in this guy's store. Let's show him. Boycott the store. Make him tsaris until he pays up. A long time goes by. Knock on the door. Guy says, Shalom Aleichem. I'm here to apologize. I fell on hard times, and I see your kid walking down the street with a golden coin. I did a little magic with him. I took it. I gave him a shekel. I took the golden coin. I really needed it. I figured you have plenty. If this kid is playing with the golden coin, you probably have others. I'm here to repay. So they go to Rabbi Yosef Chaim Sonnenfeld. All that dart. Yosef Chaim Sonnenfeld said that the father took this guy to Bezdin. He was 100% right. He asked the kid said it was a golden coin. He took it to the store. That's what the kid thought. The guy from the store, he's 100%. He's l'fnei mishrus hadin. He paid even though he shouldn't. He could have just sworn. Even the guy, the Ganav, maybe we could be melamed zechus on him. He fell on hard times and there's an excuse. But one thing not. All those people that made a fight and said you can't buy in the store, oy vavoy for these people. I can't think of a good excuse that they're going to have in Shemayim. Not to get involved, not to jump in and to come to conclusions. It's not even your fight and you don't even know. Oy vavoy. Anyway, says the Gemara like this. Chutz mepachos shove pruda bakeret. Omer Papa lishonu l'shein gzela kayemes. Says Rav Papa, we're talking about. So we said in the Mishnah that if the guy goes to pay the gneva and he leaves out a less than a pruta, the guy's meichel besides a pruta. So less than a pruta is nothing. So for that, you could still bring a karban and the chaimesh. You don't have to go all the way to Madai. That's if the thing that's less than a pruta is not in existence. But if it's still around, you have to go all the way to Madai for less than a pruta. Why? So we have a little bit of a problem here. Why? Rav Papa is saying there's a problem. There has to be an order. First you have to return the gneva, then you pay the chaimish, you bring a carbon. You cannot bring a carbon before you return the gneva. So what happens is, if you bring a carbon first, and then you return the gneva, it's a big problem. It will come out that your carbon is not a good carbon. You possibly carbon, even though you brought the carbon 6 years ago. If the value of this item, you have the item still at home, it's only worth 10 cents, less than a pruta, and the value of the item jumps, for whatever reason, it became a collectible, now it jumped up in value. So now it turns out you didn't return the gneva. So now you have to return the gneva, but you already brought a carbon out of sequence, and therefore the carbon's puzzle. I don't want that to happen. So go all the way to Madai and pay it back. They ask, why do you have to go back to Madai? Wait until it goes up in value, then return. Okay. Some say, it doesn't matter. Even if the gzela is here, you don't have to go to Madai. I'm not concerned it's going to go up in value. So, the Rosh says, not that I'm not concerned, that even if it goes up in value, it doesn't ruin the carbon. But others argue. Omar Rava. So we have some very interesting halachas here. Very. Gazal sholish agudois b'sholish prudos. So what we have to understand is that if a person steals something that's worth a pruta, and then it goes down in value, does he have to return it or not? Again, he steals something that has the value of a pruta, it's a gneva, doiraisa, when he steals it. A week later, it drops in value, the market drops. Does he have to return it? Why? Because it goes by shas hagzela. It goes by what it was worth at the time of the gzela. So, as a very fancy, this simple case, I just said, the Gemara says again, in a fancy way, if he stole 3 agudois, and they're worth 3 prutois, now each one is worth, instead of a pruta, each one is worth 0.66, for a total of 2 prutois. It's not enough to return 2. You have to return the 3rd. No difference if you stole 3 and you only gave, and now it dropped in value to 2. You have to return whatever it was worth by the shas hagzela. It's the same exact halach as if you steal 1 and it went from 1 pruta to half a pruta or to 0.66. Then you have to give back a full pruta. Why does the Gemara say a fancy case? It says Taisus to teach us that even though he paid back the 1.3 2 times 0.66, 1.3, which is more than a pruta, nevertheless, it's not enough. You have to go back and give him the 0.66 that you're missing. You have to go all the way to Madai. And I'll bring you a raya. The famous case we had many times, and today we're going to have it at least twice. A person steals a pie of pizza before Pesach. How much is the pie of pizza worth? $20. How much is it worth after Pesach? 0. Not even 1 penny. You can return the penniless pizza, the worthless pizza. Here, take it. Why? Because it's here in front of us. It's the same pizza that he stole. It's a gzela, you can give it right back. But if he got rid of it, he burnt it, somebody we even had. That if somebody burnt it, he's chayil. Even though now it's worthless, like in our case, where it dropped in value to 0.66, less than a pruta, since before it was worth, it had a value of $20, so you have to pay the full pizza. So too in our case, one of these agudois is worth less than a pruta. Okay, so from a pie pizza we see, today it's worthless. The only reason you're mekayim the mitzvah by aishes because it's be'ein, it's here in front of us and I can return it. But if it's not be'ein, I would have to go and buy a $20 pizza. So in our case also, when he stole 3 and it dropped in value to 2, so it's no worse than being worthless. So I have to go out of my way and pay up the extra pruta, whatever it was b'shas hagzela. It goes b'shas hagzela. Boy Rava. Another very interesting shayla. If a person steals one pruta and returns a half a pruta, you hear the shayla? It's a beautiful shayla. He steals exactly one pruta and he does v'heshva gzeila on a half a pruta. He has a half a pruta left and he returned the half. So it's not like the first case where he's missing, he stole a pruta and he didn't give it back at all. He gave back a half. So it's very interesting. But he didn't return the whole pruta, but he only has half a pruta left and half a pruta is nothing. But he did give back. He didn't give back. How do we view it? Right now, he doesn't have something that's worth a pruta in his possession, so it's not a gzeila. But he didn't give back the whole pruta. So the Rava said, no, it's not a shayla. Gzeila inkan. At the end of the day, he has nothing in his possession that's worth a pruta. Hashava inkan. But he didn't do a beishav as gzeila, so he has to go back and give back the rest. Says Gemara, gzeila inkan. But at the end of the day, if he doesn't have in his possession anything, hashava yeshkan. So that means that he wasn't mekayim the mitzvah. Why wasn't he mekayim? If he has nothing in his possession, whatever is in his possession is not valuable. So why wasn't he mekayim the mitzvah? Harika Amar. Mitzvahs hashava inkan. Oh, yes, he doesn't have gzeila in his possession, but the mitzvah, like the Vilna Gaon told the guy, I wish I could be mekayim the mitzvah of aishes gzeila. The mitzvah he wasn't mekayim. Yeah, you could be a person that not Michal Shabbos, but I don't know if you were shomer Shabbos. I don't know if you enjoyed the Shabbos. Okay, you sat there like this. You are Michal Shabbos. Great. Or a person. This is even more extreme. A person that is very, very busy with his parnasa. He has a great excuse. He's busy with it. Doesn't learn a word. Not one word. So did he learn Torah today? No. He didn't learn a word. He has a very good excuse. He's very busy. He's very, very busy. But he didn't learn. Oh, but then a person that's very, very busy and does learn, says the Chavetz Chaim, that it's as if the whole day he was learning Torah. Because if you take advantage of every minute that you have, every spare minute, only on condition that you take advantage of those minutes. You're not watching movies and learning. If you have a spare minute, you learn Torah, so then your entire day that you were oisik b'parnasa is learning Torah. MMA, if you bring somebody to the daf, and he finally learns that hour at night, so really now you just increase his learning from an hour really to 12 hours, to 24 hours. So now you get zechusim of 24 hours of Torah for that one guy. You hear Moshe Zeret. All those Gemaras, halavai, you go to that guy, the 24-hour guy, but any guy, any Torah, you know what it means? Even if it was one daf of Gemara, it's called Kol Zeshava. V'amarava. Oh, my Rava, listen to this. This is Givaldik. Hari Amru, Nazir Shegilach V'shir Shtei Sarais. I want to remind the Olam, I don't know if you saw it, I don't know if you just joined us in Baba Kama. So, when we were learning Masechtas Nazir, this is one of the most viewed MDY videos. It has 40,000 views. When I was in New York, a woman came over to me, she goes, oh, I know you. I saw you. Like, a few people told me. I thought she's like, I watched your daf. No, that's not what she said. She said, I watched your Nazir interview. Here, I'll just remind you. A real, true Nazir. So now we're starting with this Nazir. I wanted to ask you a few questions about the Nazir. Maybe tell me a little bit about why you became a Nazir, what it's like to live like a Nazir. Okay. I like the bottom. It says join dafyomi.com, so that saves Yosef. He doesn't have to put it on. Okay, so anyways, it goes like this. Rabbi Isai goes like this. Watch this. You look at him. Look at Reb Turjuman. There's a mitzvah to, when you're done with the 30 days, you cut the hair of the Nazir. And what do you do with the hair after you cut it off? You burn it under the shlamim. Okay. But you have to cut every single hair. What if you do something like this? You leave 2 hairs. Not yoitza. So as Rava, the same question, it's the same idea, the same logic, the same svara behind. If the Nazir did the giluach and he left 2 hairs, Loi osav alei klum. It's not considered shaving. Boy rava gilach achas v'noshra achas. What happens if he shaved? He had two left. He shaved his entire head. He had two left. He wasn't yaitza. Then he went and he shaved one out of the two. It's like the half a pruta. We're splitting hairs here. Oh, no pun intended. Came up on the spot. Sorry. Sorry, I'm not going to do that again. Sorry. Says Rav Achim, what if the guy's very slow, he's a slow barber, or he has hair growing out of different places. He cuts one here, one there, keeps on going, and now he's down to two, and then to one, and then to zero. What, he wasn't yaitza? Well, when he got to two, you didn't do a shave? Why not? I'm allowed to shave one by one and get to the end. So he shaved the entire head. He had two left. And then he shaved the second to last one, and then the final one fell off. Why is that a problem? Take a look what happened over here. It's mamish mefurish on this thing, on this chart. Here we go. This fell, and then that was shaved. So here's the shayla. At the end of the day, when he shaved the last one, he didn't have a shear of hair. So the first part is there's no shear that considers him not shaved. Or maybe the second time around, when he shaved, he didn't have the two hairs. So it's much like our case of a guy that stole a pruta and he gave back a half a pruta. For the pashto, seir inkan, giluach inkan. There's no hair and there's no shaving. You seir inkan, giluach yeshkan. So, but if there's no hair, then he wasn't kind of the mitzvah of shaving. What would happen if he didn't shave? What would he have to do if he didn't shave? If it wasn't considered a shave, he have to regrow his hair for 30 days. But at the end of the day, if there's no hair, then he doesn't have to do another shave. Says even though he has no hair to shave, mitzvahs giluach enkan. He wasn't kind of the mitzvah, like the veheshiv sagzela enkan. Mitzvahs giluach enkan. Although there's some rishonim, maybe it is rishonim, that discuss whether he does have mitzvahs giluach enkan and he has to redo it or no. The Rambam gets involved with this. Doesn't mean that he's mekayim the mitzvah. He's not a nazir anymore. Just he wasn't mekayim the mitzvah of giluach. Or perhaps no. Perhaps what the Gemara means to say is that he has to redo it. He has to wait another 30 days. Listen, this is Givaldik. Check this out. We're going to be learning, if you're new to this, learning a bunch of new halachas. If you have a kli cheres, you have an earthenware kli, and a dead sheretz touches the kli. Is the kli tameh or tahar? Tahar. The only way to make a kli cheres tameh is from its ear space. So you take a dead sheretz, you put it in the ear space, then the entire thing becomes tameh. So a guy has an unbelievable trick. Look what happens. We're going to continue weiter. A guy has a house. And in the house, there's a dead person. And the tomb of the dead person spreads to the entire first floor. Now, between the first floor and the second floor, there's a giant hole. So what's going to happen to the tumah? It's going to go through that hole. And it's going to make the entire second floor tameh. So what does this guy do? He has a great trick. He takes a barrel made out of earthenware and he closes up the hole. So now the tumah can no longer penetrate into the second floor. But then there's a little bit of a problem. A hole develops in the bottom of the barrel. So now the tumah could penetrate through the hole. How large the hole is? Tosis, Rashi, the size of a pomegranate, the size of a leek, whatever. Lamashane, a hole. Could he plug the hole? Yes. So he goes and he takes some of the sediments of the wine that was in the barrel, and he plugs the hole up. Boom. Now the tumah doesn't transfer. What about plugging half of the hole? Because you need a shear for the hole. That also works. Half the hole doesn't. Okay, so there's a little bit more. That's that part. If you have a barrel, according to Rashi, Tosfos learns a little different, but the idea is the same. That an earthenware barrel that closes up a hole in the ceiling, and then it develops a hole, or it had a hole before. You could plug it with sediment. What if he put some clay in half of the hole? Didn't we learn that in the Mishnah? If you plug it up completely with sediment, it works. So Yoshi did something like this. I don't know if it looks like that. I thought it was more like a branch. Okay, he did some leaves, whatever it is. If you try to plug it with something that doesn't fill up the whole hole, so now you have to add some, cement, some clay around. He has to add clay to it. Shtayim means like two branches. You have to put some of this here, like this, something like that. He holds. Okay, whatever, you get the idea. The point is, branch, you need to make sure that the whole hole is plugged up. What do you see? If you plug up half a hole, it's not good. Says the Gemara, no, you're wrong. The Gemara says, first let's read. If you don't plug up the entire thing with clay, it doesn't work, it doesn't prevent the tumor from coming back. You rather think that half is okay, why not? The Gemara says, no, it's different. If you didn't put the clay in there, what's going to happen to these leaves, to the branches? They'll fall down into the floor. It's just there to keep it there. But if you use clay, and something that could stand and not fall, so if you do half a shear, then it does work. This is what we're familiar with. A person steals a pizza pie before Pesach, and Pesach comes and goes. Now the pizza is worth 0. He says, take your pizza back. Daf Yomi the Beis, sponsored by Greg Haber for the success and safe return of our hostages and chayilim, the zechus of all Klal Yisroel. Mishba olav ma'u. You hear what's going on here? Huh? We need a new sponsor, says Yosef. Gewaldig. So, ask the Gemara, if a person swears falsely, in order to absolve himself from a monetary obligation, Shvua Sheker, he has to bring a carbon and a chaimish. But what is it? He's swearing falsely. He doesn't owe a pizza that's worthless. Is that trying to get himself out of a monetary obligation? But there is some monetary obligation here, because what if the pizza disappears? Then you'd have to pay the $20 for original pizza. Then it's considered that he's denying a monetary obligation. Perhaps it's just a bunch of dirt. And that's not considered a shvua on moment. Says this same question, the Rabba had a question with Pshita Rabba, right? We said the whole Shas, Rav and Rabba get confused. We get confused. Who's who? But over here, Rabba he was able to resolve the Shaila. A guy sees somebody with, and I just remembered, my mother Shalom walked over to a guy in Farako. He says, that's my son's bike. Get off the bike. So he punched her in the stomach. She was pregnant at the time. Gets her. We ended up getting the bike. But Shar Ganafti, I think that's my shar. No. Lo Ganafti. Oh, Mat Tiva Yetzlacha. But what, I know it's my shar. Look, I'll call him by its name. It's going to respond to me. That's the biggest chutzpah. Not only did he steal it, he says, you gave it to me. You told me to watch it. Chayav. So if he swore falsely that he's a shomer chinam, and then he admits that he stole it, he's chayav. Why? So we're not going to get into all the shomer. We know the difference between a shomer chinam, somebody that watches for free or for money, or somebody that borrows. A shomer chinam is pater gneva v'aveda. A shomer sachar is pater from ma'aynas, and a chayil is pater from meso machmas malacha. If it dies while he's working, then if you borrow it, then you pater. That's the only thing you pater from. So the Gemara says real quickly, Because he tried to absolve himself in the case if it was stolen. He was lying that if it would get stolen, he would be potter. A ganav, if he would admit that he's a ganav and got stolen from the ganav, he'd be chayil. He lies. I didn't steal it. You're paying me to watch it. Chayav. If it breaks or dies. I just borrowed it. Chayav. If it dies during war, he tried to get it out of that, so he's chayav. It's a real shvur. Says the Gemara, you see from here, from what Rabbi says, even though this shar is right here, it's in front of us, since if it got stolen, it's considered that you're making a shvur on something that's monetary obligation. So too, so now that he made a shvur on this thing, it's considered a shvur moment. In our case, even though this pizza pie is a bunch of dirt. If it got stolen, so we consider it as Rabbi says that's considered swearing falsely on mammon. It's here. Just take no. If it got lost or stolen, then you'd be potter from something. So if makes it a mammon. So by a pizza pie also, if it got stolen, you'd have to buy a new one. So it's considered a shvuas mammon. Yosef Rav Shmaitzer. So Rava said this over. So Rav Amram made the mistake of his life. He asked Rava a question. And Rava held it was a really not good question. So he slammed him. He says, if person says that I am admitting to the main point here. What's your point? Your point is that this is your bull? This is your bicycle? Yeah, you're right. What I'm denying is how it got to me. You're saying I stole it. I'm saying you're paying me to watch it. I'm saying you gave it to me as a gift. I'm saying whatever I'm saying. Oh, so that's moide be'ikr. I admit that you owe it, that you own it, but I'm going to deny how, and therefore the halacha is you're potter from a shvuah. You Rava said that you're chayiv in a shvuah. It's considered a monetary obligation. You're patting yourself. I'm going to prove to you Rava that you're wrong. Why? Ketzad, what's the case? Sure, you're gonna have to you stole it. So why is my shar by you? He lies and he says, you sold it to me. Interesting shayla that I asked yesterday, and a yeshiva guy told me the answer. And I'm not condoning this. I just thought it was an interesting chap. Nobody should do this. If the IRS catches a person with they caught a guy with $200,000 in cash in his house. He said, you have to pay taxes on it. So he's thinking to himself, what should I say? If I say I got it as a gift or you gave it to me, and this, you have to pay taxes. He came up with something that absolved him from taxes. What did he say? So the yeshiva guy says, but did you have uvda? I did it. If you say that you stole it, tell I stole. I'm a ganav. I stole all this money. Now they can't put you in jail. Because who did you steal it from? I don't know. I stole it. But taxes you wouldn't be chayav. That's what the guy claimed. Okay. I don't know if it's true or not.
No, that's true at all. I don't think it's true.
What would happen? You pay taxes on a stolen? Yeah. You have to pay taxes on gneva? Yeah. So all these guys that stole stuff and they're sitting in jail for stealing, they charge them taxes on it?
They're getting paid.
I don't believe it. Only in Israel, not in America. In America also? Wow. Okay, no, that's the guy Al Capone on illegal drug dealing and alcohol drug. Tax evasion on what? But he earned it legally. He didn't steal it. I'm saying the guy stole it. Income tax. Yeah, he had a business. He sold alcohol and he didn't pay taxes. Okay, and you're saying I went into my friend's house. I took his cash. You can't pay double taxes on the same thing.
Okay. I only shot 13 people to make that money.
Right. Yeah. You don't pay taxes on that. You go to jail for that. You don't pay tax. Try it. Somebody try it. Let me know if it works. Your father gave to me. He just came into my yard by himself. He's running around. Oh, this is an interesting one. I found him lost, so I took him. So the kids came to me better. I didn't steal. The Gemara is going to ask, you should have returned it. Oh, the bottom line is, he swore and falsely, and then he admitted to it. You think that he's chayav? He doesn't have to make. He doesn't have to pay. It's not a shvua. How do you Rava say that it's a shvua sheker? Omar lei tedoira. Look in the art scroll. I've never seen a translation like that in my life. Scatterbrain. Scatterbrain. Rashi says he doesn't have a heart. Ain't lave. I don't know how the art scroll went from lave to brain, but as I is. Rav Shalom Shvadron was a 13-year-old bacher in yeshiva. He says the story in Hebron.
Hey, tired of throwing fame, Mishuman, like
Yeah, but Mishuman is not. No, it's like Mishuman means like he's full of gashmias. No. No, I don't know. I got to the brain. Okay, fine. It's one of the. I'm sure they found it somewhere. I'm not saying they made a. Arshel doesn't make stuff up. But anyways, it's an interesting logic. Scatterbrain. So Rav Shalom Shvadron, the Chazan. I'm saying this to also learn a halacha. The Chazan by Mincha finished Mona Esrei after Shkia, and he saw that the Chazan was hesitating. Are we going to do? He kind of figured that he was thinking about Tachnon. So Rav Shalom Shvadron, as a 13-year-old, screamed out Kaddish. So the guy said Kaddish. So the Rosh Yeshiva stopped in front of the whole yeshiva. He says, "Get over here. Go get a Mishnah Berurah." So the guy brings a Mishnah Berurah. He shows him the Mishnah Berurah. That if that happens, if you finish Shmona Esrei after Shkia, you say Tachnon, but you don't put your head down. You don't do Nefilas Apayim. He says, basically, he was telling him, 13-year-old, you pasking halachas in front of the yeshiva, in front of the whole yeshiva here, hundreds of bacharim. Kids, he said he went to his bed. He was very depressed for 2 days. A bush in front of the whole yeshiva. He says that was the chinuch back in the day. He said today, if you do that, kid goes off the derech right away. Over here, he said to Doira. Now it happens to be the Chavetz Chaim brings this Gemara, and he says that they were friends. They were friends. Says Rav Yitzchak Zimmerstein. You see that friends also. You give musar to your friend. If the friend is not up to par, give him a little shtach. Okay, you have to understand. The Vilna Gaon says that when you give musar, it's a toichach letz pen yisneka. You don't give a let's musar because he'll hate you. What's the hamshach over there? The chacham, something with the chacham that you could give. So he says that yahavcha. He says that when you give musar to somebody and you treat him as a let, you call him a let, then it won't be taken. But if you tell him what a chacham he is, you say, "Oh, you're such a smart person," but it's a pasnish. Then he will. Okay, bisman azeh you don't give musar. Period. Omalei to doira, scatterbrain. Kitanya he the kamalei helach. When a person says, "Here, you're saying that this is your axe. Here, take it." So there's no shvua to pattern for money. It's helach, take it. But I said that it's a real shvua that's trying to absolve him from a monetary claim. That's because the shor wasn't here. Now the Gemara just goes into the details. Adam Chartli, my Modi Baker. Oh, we're gonna have a problem here. Okay, Shachar in 10 minutes. Adam Chartli, my Modi Baker. If a guy says, "I bought it from you," then how is he admitting that it's yours? Modi Baker means I admit that it's yours. Just it got to me through the fact that you gave it to me, or through that you sold it to me. But so how's it yours if you sold it to me? Says the Gemara. I didn't pay for it yet. You sold it to me. I didn't pay for it. You know what? You want it? Shakal Torah Vizil. Take it back. You gave it to me. If you gave it to me, so then why am I saying that it's yours, not mine? You gave it to me, so I'm saying it's mine. So I'm actually denying the ikr. I'm not moiding the ikr. Here in Israel, it's very common. You know what? I want to hire you. Here, take X amount of money, a few $1,000s. Go get permits from the city. And the guy says, yeah, of course. I can do it in 2 weeks. It's the usual 2 weeks. 6 years go by and nothing. But meanwhile, he gave him an ox. So give me back the ox. Okay. Oh, it came to me legally. Why? Because I saw it wandering on the way. What? There's a mitzvah. Just give it back to me. I had no idea that was you. I found it on the way and I took it. Tanya, Omer Benazai. There's a concept where boys say it's hard to understand. I could walk over to a guy and say, listen, you stole my car. I'm pushed to me that I did a whole cheshbon. It's none of my other neighbors. It's you. And you would have to swear in Bezdin that you didn't steal it. So, and you swear, and then at the end, I was right. It was taka you. So You swore falsely. Amud Beis saying this, or I'm sorry, not that you stole my car. You're saying that I could come to you and say, listen, I know that you know what happened to my car. It got lost. I know that you were there. You saw something. So there's three things that could have been here. Either Hikr Bavaloi ben Maitza, either he says at the end of the day he didn't recognize the car, but he recognized the Ganav or the guy that took it, or he didn't recognize the Ganav, but he did recognize the car, or he didn't recognize both. Hikr Bavaloi ben Maitza, ben Maitza v'loi ba, loi Bavaloi ben Maitza. Loi Bavaloi ben Maitza. But wait a minute, if he didn't recognize either, kushtish tava. So then how, if that's what happened, he didn't recognize either, so that's a good shvua. No, okay, you're right. Ema Bav and Maitza. He recognized both. He recognized the chayfetz and the steel. What does the Benazai gain from this? Rav Ami Omar Rabbi Chanina Liftar, that actually he's saying that in all three cases he doesn't have to bring a carbon. Ushmul Omar L'chiyuv, he has to bring a carbon. Ubeplukta the Da'an Tanoi, and this would be Machlokes saying Amashbiya Yidechot Potter. We're talking about I want one person to swear for me. Rabbi Loza, Rabbi Shimon Chayev, he's Potter, and Rabbi Loza says he's Chayev. Why? When a single person swears or comes to Bezdin and says, I saw that this guy took the Aveda, so he can invoke a Shvuah. The guy could swear, falsely get out of it, or for real get out of it. Or he could say, like the guy with the coin, with the kid with the coin, I don't want to swear. Even though I'm right, I don't want to swear. At the end of the day, by you coming forward to Bezdin, you are helping the guy get back his money. So and therefore you swore falsely on that you didn't see. You pretend, I didn't see anybody take a car. You could just give them the guy's name, the address, and the guy will go to the guy's house and confront him. Why didn't you say something? You know who it is. So you cause a monetary loss. So the question is that considered a monetary loss or not? Wow. You know what? Unfortunately, we're going to have to stop over here. Rabbi Sai, have a wonderful day.